Hello, 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 and welcome to the Fortress of Nerditude. I am Una. I'm a cool host. I'm the cool host. I hail from Denver Public Schools.
Today we are broadcasting in glorious nerd person point of view. I'm Bridget, your hostess with the ultimate, the paramount, the supreme,
So, the mostest?
such a provincial way to say it, but pretty much yeah. Anyway, I also hail from the school district known as Denver Public. So today on the show we have the quirky stories that the cast and crew picked for your enjoyment. We'll let you know how you can spend your nerdy free time. We'll travel on the virtual screen, which isn't quite as fantastic as traveling by transporter, but pretty cool nonetheless.
I get to be the virtual travel guide today. Hey, Bridge, any bets on whether or not you will guess it?
Funny. If I guess it, then you have to say I'm the cooler host on the next show.
And if you don't get it, you have to acknowledge that I will always be the cooler one.
Which is why I'll guess it. I'm pretty confident in my geography skills.
Speaking of school subjects, math.
Math? What about math?
That's all I'm going to say. Production control people, roll the news vid. It has been nearly 20 years since the release of the first volume in the Harry Potter series, and with that comes a whole new generation of fans. Second-hand copies of the book have started springing up from everywhere, as if it really was magic. More often than not, you will find a cute or clever note from the previous owner. Welcome to Hogwarts, from my generation to yours. I hope these books will sweep you off your feet like they did for me. To the person reading this book, you're about to embark on a remarkable journey of magic and friendship. To whom it may concern. If you're reading this, it is too late. Now take your wallet and turn around slowly.
Sherlock, Shakespeare, Cumberbatch. The rejuvenated production of Hamlet starring Benedict Cumberbatch is jumping across the pond onto the big screen. For a limited time only, from October 15th to 22nd, the world-renowned National Theatre's production of Hamlet will come to movie theaters across the country. You can find out where it's playing at a theater near you by checking out their website, National Theatre Live. Wow, so cool and hard to believe that something like that is possible. Live theater on the big screen. Just like Shakespeare wanted it.
Lego assembly is on a whole new level thanks to Nicholas Pavin, who recently constructed a full-scale, fully functioning electric guitar exclusively from Legos. It took this block brainiac only 6 days to construct, saying that the hardest part was acquiring the necessary pieces. It is all held together by dabs of glue and a few screws here and there. 6 days to build an entire guitar out of Legos, eh? I once built a little misshapen Lego house that I was extremely proud of. So proud, in fact, that I moved my end farm into it. They were happy and I was happy, life was good. Till my mom called the exterminator.
NASA has confirmed that there are traces of flowing water. Yes, H2O, that water, on Mars. The recent developments are all thanks to the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which launched in 2005 and is currently orbiting Earth's bright red neighbor to the north. With an average temperature of about -80 degrees Fahrenheit, it was never clear whether or not it was possible that flowing water could exist on Mars. With the new data collected, it has been confirmed that the ice covering some parts of the planet actually does melt during the warm seasons, which are about -10 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will run slowly from the rocky terrain in streaks. This then creates an image much like tears streaming down a face. So, living on Mars is becoming more and more of a possibility, it seems. What I don't understand is, what is the rush to get people up there? Are you insane? That is so scary. There's still plenty of room in Wyoming, last I checked.
I don't know if it's just me, but to me this sounds a little bit like Dune. We're taking a desert planet, turning it into a water planet. It ended poorly then, and I feel like it's going to end poorly now. With a Greek design company recently developed a new desk that will seriously make you reconsider how you work, combining a conventional desk with a bed. Yes, I said a bed. To create one awesome, amazing, awe-inspiring super desk. The idea behind the desk is simple. 2 people share the desk. One works away at maximum capacity using all of their brain power, while the other naps and rests up for their turn in the tandem. This in turn will hopefully create a non-stop, around-the-clock, high motor work ethic among the staff around the office. Oh, hey, I know my shift just started an hour ago, Bob, but just 5 more minutes. Please? No, no, you can't drag me out of here without a fight, Bob. I said 5 more minutes of nappy time.
Enterprise Deconstruction Project has been working on a virtual treat for Trekkies. The website provides a way to virtually explore Star Trek's USS Enterprise. The goal of the site was to provide a virtual museum of sorts, enabling fans to explore the entirety of the ship. Hop from deck to deck and dock to dock. Communal areas like malls, markets, and gardens are all open around the clock. The site creators say that if all goes well and continues to gain in popularity and funding, they hope to start populating the ship with characters of old, as well as new fictional characters in the Trek universe. Couldn't you have at least populated it with someone? Anyone? Nothing says lonely like virtually exploring a barren USS Enterprise on a Friday night.
Facebook can be addictive. Liking this photo, liking that post, poking this person, game requesting that person. If there has ever been one complaint about Facebook, it was that there was no dang dislike button. Until now. At a recent media event at Facebook headquarters, Mr. Zuckerberg announced that the website will soon be adding an empathy button, so that you can really express empathy towards a melancholy post. He said that he does not want this to be a button to troll your friends, but rather to add a new dimension to Facebook. While we're at it, Mark, why not add some more buttons? Maybe a meh button, or you're starting to be annoying button, or I've got one, a button that looks like a little red X in the top corner, and if you press it, Facebook disappears.
Wow. Now it's time to get a little loco. Local events commencing now. Well, nerd people, we have many exciting events coming up in Denver for October. First up, of course, is the Museum of Nature and Science. Throughout this month, the museum will be screening Journey to Space in the IMAX theater. If you're ready to explore strange new worlds, then this 3D showing is the place for you.
Also at the Museum of Nature and Science is a Mythbusters exhibit starting on October 11th. If you want to bust a myth or simply bust an explosive move, come and check out the new exhibit.
Another exciting spot to check out this month, beginning on the 23rd, is the Sherlock Holmes exhibit. Take a tour of his Victorian lifestyle and look through the eyes of the famous sleuth. And again, the Power of Poison exhibit is still available, so check that one out when you get a chance.
Fright Fest at Elitch's runs through the entire month of October, which means bring the family by day, frighten your friends by night. The rides and employees will be adorned in only the finest Halloween decor and costumes. They're to heighten the experience and try to frighten the experience. Local Denver residents are also invited to participate in the 17th annual Fright Fest Pet Parade. Bring your cute little pug bumblebee or kitty dragon. $20 to participate, with all proceeds going to POSCO. Did I mention that your entrance to the park that day is free?
On to a different Colorado landmark now. For all of you who simply want to go for a drive one weekend to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, the ever-enriching Longmont Museum has a Robots Rising exhibition every Saturday.
Do you like reading? Do you appreciate the authors of the best sci-fi works like James P. Hogan? Then the Mile High Con is just your cup of tea. It's a great destination for all the science fiction, fantasy, and literature of any kind. The fun is on October 23rd at the Hyatt Regency at the Denver Tech Center.
More fun in Denver, it just never ends. All throughout October, there is a giant scavenger hunt hosted by Urban Adventure Quest. Learn some local history and run around town to see things you may have overlooked.
At the Denver Zoo, there is more to be seen than cute animals. There will be a Nature Connects Art with Lego Bricks exhibit. More than 35 sculptures will be sprinkled throughout the zoo. Come and learn how to build an amazing Lego art on October 17th.
Last but not least, the Denver Zombie Crawl takes place on October 17th at Skyline Park beginning at 2 p.m. Show up as your best zombie and crawl, walk, or even run through the streets of downtown Denver, scaring the daylights out of unsuspecting senior citizens. They also offer games, competitions, and prizes for those who just want to stick around and play zombie for the day. Be there or beware, like it or not, come October 17th, zombies everywhere. If you're interested in any of these events, check out their websites for more information.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, our adventures at NDK. HQ, show us what we did.
Hello and welcome Welcome to Nerd Necessities Network on DBS TV. We're here today on location at the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Denver for NDK, or Non-Desucon. Today we will be interviewing stars on their work in television, video games, and films, and we will be celebrating the work of all things nerdy. I'm Bridget, a host.
I'm Mara, a resident nerd.
I'm Una, the other host. And here we are on Nerd Necessities Net as we dance. We're here today with Mike McFarland.
Yes, you are.
This is true.
Yes.
So, can you just start by telling us how it feels to be the voice of Gene in the overwhelmingly popular anime Attack on Titan?
It's pretty awesome, being Mr. Kirstein, Mr. Horseface. As far as the way that it feels, I don't know. I approach it as a role, and I have an attachment to it. Jean is a character that went through a lot of changes. He is someone that I think had one of the larger character arcs in the series, and so that was a cool responsibility.
So what was it like voicing Master Roshi? For those of you who don't know, Goku's master who taught him the Kamehameha wave in Dragon Ball Z.
It was a lot of fun, and it continues to be fun. I've been portraying Master Roshi for 17-ish years, longer than you guys. Been a lot.
All right. So what character's voice is the furthest from your own, and could you give us like a little snippet of it?
Neat bit.
Yeah.
There are a few that are far from my own voice. One would be Master Roshi, who I'd mentioned earlier. He sounds like this. He's old and crazy. Another one is Buggy the Clown from One Piece, and that's more of just an attitude because he thinks he's really awesome and diabolical. And his voice is like this. It's very gritty and low, and he laughs maniacally. That sort of thing.
Thank you very much for participating in our show. And
Thank you very much.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for having me.
all right. Briefly tell us about yourself.
Oh gosh, about myself. I grew up in Tampa, Florida. I was very, very shy, and so when I was in high school, my mother said you should try acting, and I think she regretted it ever since. So I started out on theater. I did a little bit of TV and film on camera, and then I fell into anime, and I found a world that I really enjoy working in.
How was your experience voicing Bodomon on the Digimon movie?
Bodomon was my favorite. All I had to do was go, bow, bow, bow. So it was so much fun. Every time you went in, you just had a black bouncing ball, and every time it bounced, you just go, bow, 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 bow.
Do you enjoy voicing for anime or video games more?
Gosh, both. I really enjoy them both. The video games is a little bit more of an intense workout for the voice actor. Basically, you walk in and there's an Excel spreadsheet up in front of you on a computer screen, and it's completely out of context. And they go, well, give us one reading, and then give us a second different read, and then move on to the next line. Diane and Eureka 7. Renton, she's very soft and very gentle. Renton, we will be back. Don't forget me. Susie, hello, hello, hello. Where's Terryman? Tachicomas, they basically just talk really high. Bodomon, I did a little bit, but the Bodomon song in the movie. Bow, 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 bow.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
with
so
us.
much,
This was
Nina. Thanks,
awesome.
Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Lisa, could you briefly tell us about yourself?
Sure. I am a voice actor. I've been doing this for about a long time. I'm just going to call it that much time. But I started off as Lena Inverse in Slayers and done Amy Rose and a bunch of other different things, and then started directing and producing and whatnot. But yeah, I've done a lot of anime.
Okay, so we have noticed that you have a lot of roles voice acting as some Pokemon in the Pokemon franchise.
Yes.
Does that show hold a special place in your heart?
Of course it does. I played Misty's older sister in there, but I also played Sabrina, which was with the psychic Pokemon, the one who, that caused a lot of problems at the time, so that was kind of fun. Well, she was one of my favorites, and then years later, like, I wound up being in different things and different incarnations, and I got to play. My favorite, I do have to say, was playing Oshawott, because that was like I know. It was really weird. Like, you would think not being able to say words would be a problem, but actually it's not.
So we heard that Nintendo has filed a patent to make a real Pokedex, and rumor has it that it will have pictures of real animals and game-like stats. So if the Pokedex showed your cats, what kind of stats would they have?
Well, okay, we'll just go with, Sandy would have, rested in peace. He would have been sort of like a little swirly cat, because he kind of comes out, he meows, and then he I think he only has one ear in the corner. He's definitely a water type, even though he's a cat. You wouldn't know that, because he has to sit in the bathtub and drink water out of it, all the time, so that's good. Fitzy, I feel like, I'm trying to think of what his power would be, because he definitely doesn't like water. He doesn't like running. He would never be electric. His thing would be to, like, sit in your lap. That's how he would keep you from doing anything. But he would never ever win a Poke battle, because he's scared of the broom.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
You are well. Thank you for letting me speak.
NDK Non-Desu Con. We have no idea what's going on. This con is based on anime. There's no work here, only play. NDK is really neat. No Denver Anime Con has got it beat. We're NerdNet on DPS TV. We're so much cooler than NBC. That's a wrap.
And we're back. As you can see, we had a lot of fun at NDK, but we weren't even able to show you all of the cool things we were able to do while we were there. So feel free to check out our Facebook or our YouTube to see all the other cool interviews and fun stuff that we did. The next thing that we're going to talk about is actually based on a PBS documentary that just came out talking about whether you could get superpowers from radiation. And so, similar to that, we decided that we're going to talk about some of our own superheroes and their origin stories. So, if you don't mind, I think I'll start.
Go on.
So I think the first superhero that we're going to have, his name will be Azul Ooze. And his origin story is that he was in Wyoming, and he was lost in Wyoming because there's, like, no one there. But he found a sandwich.
Of course.
And in the sandwich there was a Carolina Reaper, which is the hottest pepper, and a vampire squid, which is a real squid that, like, oozes blue mucus with lights in it. And he ate the sandwich, but as you can probably guess, it was pretty disgusting, and it turned him into Azul Ooze. And his superpower is that he can ooze blue with the blue dots in it, like,
That's, like,
the
really
squid.
Cool, though.
Yeah, but, like, the problem is that he never has enough tissues, and because he ate the pepper, his stomach always hurts. So,
Our next superhero is Plug-In. Plug-In was in Wyoming, just kind of, like, chilling, you know, minding his own business when he was offered some pronghorn milk, and he was like, what? So he decided to take a sip, and he drank some, and it was...
sounds like you, Una.
It does. Like, honestly, like, I could do this, and maybe I'll be our next superhero. Which would be awesome. But he drank this milk. It was, like, totally disgusting, but he was like, apparently it was way past his expiration date, but he can now... He has the power to attract all of the people in Wyoming, which is kind of hard because Wyoming's big and everyone's kind of spread out, but they all just slowly come to him. The power from all of the people in Wyoming. He can also stick balloons to things without rubbing them in his hair, which is a skill I personally would like to have, but the only problem is that he's always losing charge on his phone.
That would really suck, wouldn't it? But,
I mean, that
you know.
constant static charge is.
And
I
I
don't know.
honestly wouldn't want the people of Wyoming flocking to me, if
Yeah,
we're
I
being
feel like
honest.
that'd be bad.
But
You know, just like whatever.
hey, Wyoming, don't find me. Okay, my turn. Okay, here's the next one. So his name is Shadont,
Oh.
and his superpower is that he doesn't cast a shadow. And his origin is that he was at a solar eclipse, and he was like, you know, doing the usual thing. He was wearing his glasses. He was like looking at the solar eclipse. He was like, wow, that's super neat. But some other guy there was like thought he was a
like,
prankster
hey,
or something.
Take off your glasses.
No, I mean that would be
Yeah.
evil. But he was still a prankster, and he took out a flashlight
Uh-huh.
and shined it on the guy's shadow,
Oh.
and so then he like it messed up the like science, and so now he doesn't cast a shadow, which like is kind of cool because like he can like sneak around and stuff. But then everyone thinks he's a vampire, which
Oh.
is, you know, like, do you really want people to think
The
you're a
price
vampire?
you gotta pay to be a superhero. I mean,
Right?
Come on.
I don't know.
We've also one of my own personal favorite superheroes is Turnback. Now Turnback was in Yellowstone, in Wyoming, and he was just kind of chilling. But he decided to take a photo of a buffalo from 3 feet away, which is a bad idea. But anyway, he was gored, and long story short, he can turn his watch on his wrist was set 1 second behind, so now he can revert time back, but only 1 second back. Which is like awesome because he's not running into things anymore.
Like the buffalo?
Yeah, the buffalo. But the problem is that everyone around him gets just horrible deja vu. Just horrible.
So maybe he's already in our midst, and we just don't
He
realize
could
it.
have been. I mean, like, honestly, I get deja vu frequently. Maybe it's him.
Maybe you are turned back, and you just don't realize
I
it.
feel like I could have been gored by a bison. I have a very large scar on my back that I can't explain. Maybe that's it.
What other superheroes?
All right, I think we're actually out of superheroes. I mean, that's really all that matters. So let's go into commercials.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for joining us for superheroes.
Welcome back, lovelies. We are here to play Where on the Virtual Screen Am I? Obviously our most popular game, and this time it's personal. So I have bet Bridget that if she guesses this, I have to admit that she is the cooler host. But if she does not guess it, then she has to acknowledge that I am in fact cooler, which we all know.
I guess we'll see,
Yeah.
won't we?
But you wanna just do an initial guess just to start us off?
I'm going to stay with the Wyoming and Laramie, Wyoming.
That is incorrect. All
Darn
right.
it. Okay, well,
Get
I guess
ready,
we'll
get
get to
ready,
the real
Bridget.
clues.
All right. Are you prepared?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm very geography skilled.
Gotcha.
after all.
Gotcha. This city contains over 100 universities and colleges, making it the world's highest concentration of learning institutions.
London?
No.
Okay.
The city exposes you to more square footage of advertising and media than anywhere else in the world.
New York City?
No. First city to ever record a population of over 10 million, making it one of the most populated cities in the world at the time.
Tokyo?
Yes.
Bridget is the best. Bridget is the best.
No!
We all know I'm the coolest.
Oh, no. No.
What can I say? Okay, Una, do you want to give us the rest of the clues and nerdy tie-ins?
I've died, Bridget. I've died.
Well, what can I say?
Goodness. I'm going to have to challenge you. I will accept this defeat, but next time...
Do you want a rematch?
I do want a rematch, Bridget.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Well, since Bridget guessed it, God, Bridget, we're just going to rattle through these other facts about Tokyo, which makes it pretty nerdy. The cost of living in this city is considered one of the highest in the world. If you own a 2-bedroom apartment in the city center, it is estimated to cost you $15,000 per month.
Wow.
The literacy rate for the city is almost 100, which is awesome. According to 2010 consensus, the city is home to 5 of the 25 greatest amusement parks in the world. Maybe I should visit there. The city is also rumored to have it is rumored to have a haunted house on every street.
Wow.
It became the capital of its nation in 1603. A popular attraction in the city's capsule hotels where you sleep in rooms around half the size of a large refrigerator or 10 square meters, which sounds cool to me, but not cool, I'm assuming, if you're claustrophobic. Here are some nerdy tie-ins. Godzilla has attacked Tokyo a total of 28 times through the entirety of the film franchise. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I feel bad for insurance agents in Tokyo. Tokyo is home to the Akabarian district, an area of the city that is famous for its vast array of electronic shops, but more recently has become better known for its anime, manga retailers, as well as its multi-story gaming arcades. Tokyo houses Japan's largest Pokemon Center. Inside you can find a limitless amount of Pokemon merchandise, from plushies to Pokemon-style ramen noodles to Pokemon fashion and cosplay. Tokyo is home to Anime Japan, formerly known as the Tokyo International Anime Fair. It is one of the world's largest anime conventions in the world and is very well known for its creation area where you can watch famous Japanese animators draw your favorite characters.
Wow.
The fair will be open to the general public March 26th and 27th of 2016. Tokyo is also home to the Ikebukuro, a shopping district in downtown Tokyo which panders to the female fans of anime and manga. Tokyo is also home to the famous Studio Ghibli, which has been making colorful and wonderful animated movies since 1985. Started by the now happily retired director Hayao Miyazaki and his once small animation team.
Wow. Tokyo sounds pretty cool.
I know.
Might have to visit sometime.
Just really cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to take a short break, but after that we will be inviting our awesome guest onto the set, so we'll see you then.
In a minute.
All right, welcome back, friends. We are here with our special guest, Mark, who's going to tell us about himself and what he does and what his nerdy stuff is. So there's your super guest,
Why,
Kate.
thank you very much.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Yes, of course, of course. So let's start out with an easy one. What do you teach at Metro?
I teach mathematics,
Cool.
mostly to folks who want to be teachers. So I help them learn mathematics, and then I help folks who want to be secondary, high school, or middle school math teachers to teach math for understanding, not just how to do rules.
Awesome.
That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
So this is a nerd TV show, so can you tell us what your nerd cred is?
Well, my nerd cred is I love to do mathematics at home on the backs of envelopes, whatever's lying around. And with my kids, I have them do fractions before they can eat cookies as they're breaking them up and fair sharing with each other. They have to calculate how much cookie they can eat.
That's pretty cool. Were you drawn to math as a kid, or were you a kid who found math daunting?
So, I'm really good at calculating numbers in my head, and I was able to do it quickly. And that's one of those myths that you could only be good at math if you can do things fast. So I was drawn to doing well in math because of that. But I learned later on that there's a lot more to math than just calculating quickly in your head.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, you believe that there's no such thing as a person who's not a math person. So, how do you get adults who would categorize themselves as not a math person to change those views?
Yeah, I think one of the things that has to be done is to help people understand there is no math gene. It's not a genetic thing. And in our country, unfortunately, we have that belief. So it's helping adults understand that they can be good at math even if you've never liked it before.
Cool. Awesome. Can you give us some examples of how we would use math in our everyday lives?
Oh, sure. One of the major things is, have you ever done any internet shopping?
Oh, yes.
Pay with a credit card?
Yep.
The whole security system on the internet is set up through the use of prime numbers, if you remember prime numbers. Numbers that only have two factors. And so we make these really big numbers, and if you can't break them into prime numbers, then the security system works. And then I would say something like this, I received as a box of treats, came at holiday time. If you notice, it's hexagonal. Sort of looks like a beehive.
Yes.
And so thinking about why bees would use a hexagon to make a beehive and why this company would use a hexagon is because it takes up the least amount of area, least amount of perimeter, but it maximizes the area. And so bees have figured that out over time, that the hexagon's the best shape to make, and this company did as well.
That's pretty cool. Even bees like math.
Yeah, bees and companies, it's just perfect. So you teach math teachers, so could you tell us a little bit about whether math teaching has changed over time and how and why that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. We live in such a different age now than we did 50 years ago. There's so much more technology. We have computers that are incredible, no one ever possibly could have thought of. And, we have to help kids learn how to think and reason and work together and problem solve and make sense of stuff. Those are the folks that we need for the future. And whereas, same as being a doctor, you wouldn't want a doctor who only did what they learned 30 years ago. Same with teachers. We've learned so much about the brain and how the brain works that we revise what we do and we learn new strategies to help folks learn better.
That is pretty cool. Well, it seems like you obviously know a lot about math, so you must have at least one funny story. What is your funniest story from teaching math?
Oh, my goodness. I remember I was teaching middle school in New York City, and we're playing a game, students against myself at the board. It was very intense. And then the students won, and they let out this loud cheer. The principal comes running down the hallway because he thinks that there's something gone wrong in the room. And he comes in, and everyone's saying, no, we're okay, we're okay. It was just a game, and we won. And so that was very humorous that there could be noise in the classroom, and it was a good thing.
Yes, that's awesome.
So you have an article, and you give some tips to parents about how they can help their kids with math homework. So how important are the parents' roles in getting kids excited about math?
Parents are so crucial. Again, unfortunately, there are so many adults who are turned off from math in school, and they tell their kids, it's okay, you don't have to be good at math, because I wasn't. And so we need to help change that. And so I advise parents to just, do counting activities with kids, play games, roll dice, play with cards, cooking, ratios, going to the store when you're shopping. So it's just to get kids to see that math is part of their lives, and that they need it, and they can be good at it.
Yeah, awesome. So we heard that you brought along some handheld calculating devices. So do you want to join us after our commercial break to take the demo stage?
Absolutely.
All right,
Awesome.
let's get on that.
Commercial break.
For Alyssa White, painting was not her first job.
Went to the reserves, and I ended up going to Desert Storm.
Or even her second.
Then I ended up getting into the financial industry in real estate.
But she had good reason to change after the real estate market crashed several years ago.
Living through that and watching people lose so much and having that bubble burst made me really disenchanted with that industry because I saw so many people losing everything on a daily basis, and I didn't really want to be a part of that.
As a single mom, financing a new education would be hard, if not impossible. But a good friend told her,
Here is an opportunity through the WIN program, which is Work Initiative Now program. They're sending people to Emily Griffiths for the building trades, and they're pretty much paying the whole thing.
Alyssa jumped at the chance for a new career. And what did she think of the program?
It was an absolutely wonderful program. The instructors that Emily Griffiths has are truly artists, in my opinion. It was awesome what they know, what they taught, what they shared. I loved it. It was a 4-month program and got a job.
Right away, she was working.
Now I work at Hegum Lindquist Paint Company.
A family-run business that's been around for quite some time.
My dad started the company in 1949.
Ron Lundquist says at the time, not many women were in the painting business.
Very few. In the late 80s, early 90s, that there would be 1 or 2 that would come through.
Now, over 65 years later,
My name is Ruth Ann Lundquist-Zuger, and I'm the president of Hegum Lundquist.
Ruth Ann has strong feelings about women in the construction industry.
Painting is a great industry trade for women because of their skill set that they bring to the table, their organization, their attention to detail, and their cleanliness really helps on a painting job.
For Alyssa, she has found a new calling.
I really enjoy the work. I didn't think I would as much as I did because it is physically demanding. You come home dog tired at the end of the day, but when people ask at the end of the day, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm dog tired, but I'm good.
And what does she have to tell other women who might be interested in this field?
Oh, do it. Do it, do it, do it.
With the help of Emily Griffith, Alyssa now sees her future with a fresh new look.
Welcome back. As you can see, I'm going to be doing some camera work today, so we've got 2 cameras running.
And we are going to see some handheld mathematical devices. We have them all laid out for us right here, and I think this is going to be exciting. All right.
Awesome.
Show us what you know.
All right. Well, this is a slide rule, and it was invented in the 1700s.
Wow.
Was very popular all the way through the 1960s, getting into the 1970s, before calculators took over. But this was used for engineering, and it could do all your basic computations. So,
can you hold it up so Bridget can see?
Yeah, ooh, look at that.
yeah. So if you slide it here, so a 1 is over the 2, that means you're multiplying by 2.
Ah.
And so you can see here the 2 and the 4, the 3 and the 6, and the
That's
4
very
and
clever.
the 8. Yeah, and so it's based on logarithms.
Mm-hmm.
And so logarithms were invented by John Napier, and we use logarithms today in the Richter scale. So how earthquakes are measured is a logarithmic scale. So it's proportional. So if you see the distance here between 1 and 2, it's the same as the distance here between 2 and 4, and the same distance between 4 and 8.
Oh, cool.
And so also decibels. So when you hear about how loud airplanes are or music, it's measured in decibels, and those are logarithmic scales as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not used anymore. They're in museums, but they were very valuable. This is sort of one of the first calculators back from the 1970s, and the notation is called Polish postfix notation. And so it was used at a time, again, back in the 70s when computers had limited space. And so it limits the number of keys that you have to press to make calculations. So for example, if I want to multiply 4 times 8, I do 4, enter, 8 times. And it's 32. So that's what the reverse part means. You do the operation at the end after the numbers.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, and so that was popular in the 70s and early 80s. And then, of course, you may have seen graphing calculators,
I have one of those.
which are, used in most high schools and colleges now. Also ACT exam, SAT exam, AP classes. And so these were revolutionary in the late 80s because you can now start seeing graphs being made.
Yep.
Right? And so you could see connections between equations and graphs, tables of values. So it really helps, again, students understand better and make sense of mathematics, which is what we need to do a lot more
That
of.
little calculator got me through the ACT.
Absolutely. And this is called a reckon rec.
All right.
Right? This is from invented in the Netherlands.
Oh.
This was handmade by one of the professors at Metro that I work with. And there's 2 rows of 10 beads and colored purple or yellow. And so if you wanted to add, let's say 9 plus 8, you know, young kids can see, oh, I have 5 and 5. It's 10, and then 4 and 3 is 7. So that's 17. Or they can see 9 plus 9 is 18, minus 1 is 17. So they can use different strategies to make sense of numbers, and then they can see that numbers are made up of smaller numbers. And it gives all kids the opportunity to share their thinking. I think a lot of what we've done in the past is we've made kids think only in one way, and therefore a lot of kids don't think they're good at math because they didn't do it the teacher's way or understand another way. But if we allow them to do their own thinking, it becomes a lot more that they can do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. And then this sort of last tool is really interesting because it's something that pilots used a while back before there were all the instrument panels in airplanes. And so it's sort of, again, a handheld, but you can do your speed, you can do your distance, you can figure out fuel, how much is left. As you can see, it's circular because we live in a 3D world. And so trigonometry is involved as well. And, you know, you just turn the dials and again, comes in very handy, and you can do what you need to do very quickly.
Cool. Very, very cool. Well, these are all just so awesome. I mean,
thank you very much.
Awesome. All right. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Catch us on Facebook and Twitter. You can see this interview and the many more we've done. So
please check out all of our awesome stuff on the web, and keep following us both on television and on YouTube. And it's been really fun today. I love math,
and I'm super cool. I mean, like.
Well, thank you very much. We really enjoy it when we have folks who like mathematics, but we also want to help promote that everyone can learn mathematics. There is no such thing as a person who's not a math person.
Of course.
So you guys can help with that also, and share your passion for it.
Cool. All right.
Well, well, okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And you are welcome. This has been great to be here.
I'm Bridget.
Bye.